Hello and welcome to the Kernow Show with my guest today, Mr. Spencer Woods of Big Books Advertising and Big Books Creative Design. Mr. Woods, how are you, sir?
I'm great, Gavin. Always good. How are you?
You are always good.
Try my best.
No, you are great. You're great. First of all, let's kick this off.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about Spencer Woods. I know Spencer Woods. I've known him for wow.
Yeah, so we go back many years, don't we?
We do.
Friends, colleagues, neighbours. Everybody needs good friends. I mean, I've got an old background. I have many years working in sales in loads of different industries. So, everything from mobile phones to home improvements to recruitment to advertising, which is where I really found my stride. And I don't really get involved in the sales aspect anymore. I'm more of a sort of operations kind of guy now. That's me in a nutshell, business-wise. And in my personal life, just try and be a nice bloke if I can.
You do pretty good at it. To be fair to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very kind.
No, you do, mate. You do. And so lots and lots of sales experience.
Mm-hmm.
And we obviously worked together in recruitment a long time ago.
Many moons.
And obviously we built a solid foundation for our friendship there.
Yeah.
And then you moved across to an out-of-home advertising business.
That I did.
And then obviously the natural progression was there. Yourself and Mr. Mike B set up the Big Box.
Big
Box franchise.
So I mean, it's been going for crumbs almost 4 years now. We're coming up to our 4th year anniversary in October. Coming into our 5th year, which is frightening.
Yep.
But it's been it's been a rocky road, but one I have no regrets at all about. It's been fantastic. There's something really, as you well know now, something really awesome about being your own boss and running your own business. It's a lot of responsibility, but it's the rewards. Even in a sort of personal aspect, you can't sum it up, can you? It's too much.
The successes and the failures all come down to us.
Yeah,
which is both horrifying, but also quite. It's a nice feeling to have as well.
It is, yeah, definitely.
So let me ask you then. You obviously you moved from recruitment to out of home advertising. Out of home advertising obviously being a more traditional means of marketing. You said that you really kind of found your stride there. Tell us about your experience with traditional marketing, out of home advertising, and why you love it so much.
So I'm not quite the marketeer that Mike is. I'm not going to sit here and talk about marketing theory and things like that. With me, it's mostly practical. So I've been working in it for over 5 years, and I've seen the sort of statistical results of what works and what doesn't. What I think is great about traditional formats is obviously digital is important. Everybody needs to be doing digital marketing, social media, things like that. Everybody needs to be doing that. But what's great about traditional formats is it's not something everybody does. It's almost like a unique thing nowadays, because very few companies will go, oh, do you know what? I'll take a billboard, for example. But as a result of that, because there's limited space and because not everybody does it, it really helps businesses stand out and sort of, I suppose, get head and shoulders above the competition. Because when you see a billboard, it's big, it's in your face, but also unlike, for example, paper advertising, you kind of just flick the page, don't you? Same thing with digital stuff. So whether you're buying banner ads or Facebook advertising, you kind of just scroll by it. But very few people run away from a billboard, or accelerate off from it. So it does tend to sort of stick in people's minds. I think that's part of the reason why it works so well as a format. And we're very, very blessed actually to have a sort of strong list of clients that consistently book with us year on year. I think our rebook rate at the moment is around sort of 70 to 80%. So
Incredible.
it's those relationships, though, isn't it, that you build up over the years.
And let's be honest, they're not going to be reinvesting if they're not making money from it.
Exactly.
So the kind of proof is in the pudding, as they say.
Yeah.
I work in digital marketing. Specifically around social media marketing, but I understand the importance of traditional marketing. And what I find from my own experience and from my own research that I've done into it, because I've only been in marketing for the last 6 years. But what I found is that it's almost a kind of ecosystem, or probably the wrong way of describing it. It's almost a kind of cycle, if you will, where digital marketing will be all the hype.
Yeah.
Then it will move to traditional marketing because everybody's now focused on digital marketing. Then everybody moves to traditional marketing. Suddenly, digital marketing, why have we forgotten about that? And you find a lot of businesses, big businesses, small businesses, they all kind of go down that same route. For me, I think personally it's all about having, and obviously we've got a great relationship with you guys at Big Box, and we love passing people across to you, and you obviously guys pass people back over. And that's because I do genuinely believe in it. And
I do think it's important to stress as well. I know my business partner Mike B always talks about the marketing mix, and there is a lot to that. You can't just put all your eggs in one basket. You do have to spread your budget across different mediums. For example, we've used you for digital campaigns before, Facebook campaigns.
I've been on the hospital screens.
Yes, exactly. But at the same time, one thing that I always remind people of is Facebook themselves take billboard advertising. So I think you did yourself a disservice there, actually, saying that about it not being an ecosystem. I feel like it is an ecosystem in that if you neglect certain aspects, that will have a knock-on effect to the rest of what's going on within the business. So, I would say in a way it is an ecosystem. Actually, it all feeds into each other, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. It does. And like you say, a good marketing campaign will be a good mix of both digital and traditional. And like you say, my own experience anyway, I think some forms of traditional marketing, I think they're outdated, and I think it is almost kind of time to put them to bed. I put a post up a little while ago, I don't mind mentioning it, but the phone book came through my door. The first time I've seen it probably in 4 or 5 years, and the amount of companies that had advertised it, and I thought, I'm going to do a little bit of research here, and it was about £250 plus VAT.
Wow.
To advertise it, and I thought, who picks up the phone book and goes, do you know what, I need a plumber? Do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't remember the last time I went, do you know what, I need a specific service. I need a carpet fitter. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look in the phone book. It's Google. It's
funny that you say this, actually, because somebody, even yesterday, brought up the Yellow Pages in a conversation that I was having. And I haven't heard the term Yellow Pages in many, many a moon. I suppose for maybe the older generation, there's still a space there for that. But definitely, the younger generation, with everything going digital, you just Google it, don't you?
That's great marketing by those guys. Now, as we're talking about marketing, isn't it?
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard somebody say, I'm just going to Bing that, I'm just going to Jarvis that,
Ask Jeeves.
Sorry, not Jarvis.
Do you remember Alta Vista?
I don't remember.
That's vintage.
Firefox is another one, I think, isn't it?
Firefox is a browser. Yeah,
it's a browser. Yeah,
Mozilla.
Yeah,
but Google's very much secured their place in the market there, haven't they?
They have.
Literally a household name.
Literally. Yeah, literally. So kind of going back to traditional marketing. So and again, I've been on the billboard as well. Now I'm thinking about it. Of course,
yes,
YP, and I shared it with some amazing businesses as well. And I had a few people ring me up and say, "Hey, I saw you on the billboard.
Yeah,
incredible business from it as well." So, a win-win situation there. But what can someone expect if they were to advertise? And again, I know you have those lovely billboards where I was, right outside the train station. Obviously, they've been a little bit quiet, but with things now opening up, 100%. Obviously, it's going to get lovely and busy there now. But what could people expect when if they were to take a billboard with you guys?
Well, it's high impact. You think about, just taking the ones in Truro, for example, because we do have inventory as of yesterday stretching up as far as Bristol now.
Wow.
So we've just obtained 2 billboards in Bedminster, which look sparkling. If you check out the socials. But Truro, for example, the benefits to something like that is you're looking at, it's a major road in and out of the town. It's on all the major bus routes out of the town. It's directly opposite one of the busiest train stations in Cornwall. And I think one of the things about traditional advertising, which people everybody's very caught up in ROI, return on investment, and statistical analysis of, how many hits has this had, how many impressions. I think one of the things that people need to bear in mind with sort of more traditional advertising is that you can't always quantify the knock-on effect from things like that. Yeah. So, for example, say a friend had said to me, do you know what, Spencer, you need to speak to Gavin Harris at Kernow Social Media Agency. And I've got that in the back of my head, and I think, I will give Gavin Harris a call. And then I forget, and it lapses. But then I'm driving down to the city centre, and I see your logo on a billboard, and I think, my friend recommended him to me, I'm going to give him a call. Yep. But if you asked me and said, how did you hear about me? I'd say, oh, my friend told you.
Yep.
But it's the billboard that's sort of reminded you and had that knock-on effect and brought that out. And I think that's something that people forget is sometimes you need that reminder. Yeah. As you always say, it doesn't hurt to be reminded. Very nice. That was a lovely little segue. I segued into that. I was planning on saying that at some point.
Just for clarity, because people who are watching this probably go, what the hell's he on about? I don't realise I say it, but apparently I say that a lot. I say it doesn't hurt to be reminded, and that's kind of my... it's
great advice for life.
It is, and I'll take it. I don't remember ever saying it, but apparently I say it quite often, because whenever I do say it now, I'm like, says I say that? But that's incredible. So I think the other thing as well to just kind of keep it on the billboards thing, because like you say, it can be difficult to, the return on advertising spend is... especially in the current climate, people are looking at where they're spending money. Yeah. Even on digital, even with social media advertising or social media management, obviously, which is what we do. It's people are a lot more aware of where their money's going, and they want to see results. Yes. I think something that maybe, and I'm sure you guys advise your clients to do this when they get in touch. But for me, if I was having, let's say, I was having a billboard, let's say in Truro, and also I was going to have an advert in Key magazine, Eleanor Stafford's Key magazine, and I was to put something out on social as well, maybe just a little advert, but have a call to action on it, all three of them being a phone number. What people don't realise that they can do is they can use 3 different numbers, so they can actually, like you say, then quantify actually where these leads are coming from. So if somebody does see the billboard and they ring, then guess what? They'll be able to, you'll be able to, as a business owner, you'll be able to see, okay, so we've had 6 calls from the billboard, 4 calls from the magazine advert, and maybe 2 calls from the social media. Right, okay, a billboard is obviously working better. And then obviously, work on their figures, what's actually come through, what's paid, what hasn't. But I think a lot of people, when they expect it to be almost kind of blind advertising traditional. But again, my experience is that you can still measure the results. Oh yeah, definitely. And that's obviously really important in any form of marketing.
Yeah, so I mean, you're right. You've got geographic phone numbers. You've got specific calls to action. So say, for example, if you're doing a campaign and you're offering a discount or an additional service for free or something like that, then you can have different promo codes for different campaigns that are going out. There's lots of different ways of doing it. Even just asking the question, where did you hear about us? Have you seen us anywhere else? I just think, particularly at the moment with things the way they are, everybody's running around like headless chickens, aren't they? And I think sometimes people forget that just by putting that little bit of extra time in to either think about catering the campaign so that you can track it, or just following up on inquiries and finding out where they've come from, although... yes, it takes a little bit of extra time. That data that you can drag out of that, I'm talking from a sort of statistical point of view here now.
I know you love your stats,
mate. I love stats. But yeah, if you take the little bit of extra time just to track things, it will do you massive favours in terms of your marketing moving forward, because then you can track what works. But people forget to do it. That's the issue.
Do you know what I think? And again, I would go one step further than that. I would say people don't always forget to do it. I would actually say that people are afraid to do it.
Yes.
I speak to businesses on a daily basis, and one question, if ever they're inquiring about my services, I'll always ask them, where do you get most of your business from at the moment? And I'm talking about businesses that have been running for 5 years, 10 years. They can't tell you. Yeah. And I think a lot of that, maybe some is down to inexperience, but I think some of it's down to fear. I think it's down to, I don't want to scare this person. I don't want them to feel like I'm too interested or whatever. But for me, from a marketing standpoint, 100% you need it. And if it is coming from referrals, amazing. Right? What person gave you that referral? what person was it that said to you, you want to speak to Gav Harris down at Kernow Media? Oh, lovely. Oh, I'll tell you who it is. It's whoever.
Yeah.
And then you can then follow up. Hey, look, thanks very much. This person got in touch. They said that this was you, and that's marketing in itself, because then you're passing it back, if you will.
I would agree with you. Definitely, there's an element of fear in it. I think people need to remember that everybody likes being asked questions about what they do. It's kind of like we were saying yesterday about Simon Sinek and being the idiot in the room, and I mean, you look at yourself. I love being asked questions. What do you do? How does that work? And people love talking about themselves and their businesses.
There's a reason why I set up a podcast. I like asking you questions. So.
But but I do think there's definitely an element of fear sometimes of I don't want to seem too pushy, too interested, too this, too that, too stupid maybe sometimes, and I want to seem like an expert. I don't want to ask too many questions. But people love talking about themselves. They love talking about their business, and it doesn't hurt to want to find out that information. And nobody's going to judge you for it. Most people will be more than happy to sit and chat about what they do for 5-10 minutes. So I mean, questioning actually I think people should do more questioning.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's and he's not paying me for this, a guy called Benjamin Dennehy, who I always bang on about, because he's I consider him to be a friend, really, really brilliant sales trainer. The UK's most hated sales trainer.
I've come across him, yeah.
He's incredible, but he talks a lot about asking the right questions and making sure that you are challenging your client base and people that are inquiring, and making sure that, number one, obviously important to find out where that person has come from, how they've discovered your business, but also making sure they're not wasting your time as well. Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that you pick up quite quickly. I mean, you know this, being in business for, you've just had your year, are you coming up to your year?
Just hit the year.
Yeah.
3rd of April.
So, I mean, obviously, it's a cliche, but time is money, isn't it? Yes. And I think you very quickly, when you're paying your own wages, start to pick up on, is this the best conversation for me to be having? But at the same time, the flip to that, the other side of the coin is, it's all about building relationships as well, isn't it? And you don't want to be going out there expecting instant results, because, most people I know in business that expect instant results and are only out for themselves don't last very long. The way that you've got to do business, particularly in a rural, small county like ours, you have to foster those relationships and build friendships out of it as well. And that's something that, don't want to polish your ego too much, but that's something you've been fantastic at yourself, coming into the business community, making friends and coming out the other end quite respected. So hats off to you as well.
You learn from the best, mate. And obviously, you guys at your partnerships, obviously yourself and Mike and Shane and, Brock, all of you were there, right? Warren, how can I say Brock without saying Warren D'Souza? But having those guys, all of you guys really there right at the very start, 100%, I wouldn't be sat here now if I didn't have that support network, if you will. And obviously my wife as well, who gave me the initial kick into business. But yeah, that's very interesting. I feel like we've touched upon some really, really good points here today.
Yeah.
So I'm a business owner. I've heard this. I've gone, you know what? I've been focusing too much on digital marketing. And if you have, make sure you give me a shout, because I can help you with social media. But they want to get into traditional marketing. They want to do some traditional marketing. They want that billboard, that amazing bloody billboard right outside Truro train station. How do they get in touch with you?
So you can go to our website.
Don't say go to Mike.
No. You can go to our website, bigboxadvertising.com. Big Box Advertising on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all over the place, LinkedIn, or just pick up the phone and, we'll always answer, rain or shine.
Amazing. And just before we do, and again, thank you very much for coming in
Thanks for having me
today. Tell us a little bit about aliens and stuff.
So if you're interested in the paranormal, aliens, UFOs, conspiracies. So yeah, if you're interested in the paranormal, so it's like Egon Spengler from Ghostbusters, isn't it? Make sure you check out Aliens and Stuff. It's a wonderful little show that me and my cohorts produce up here at the Cornwall Channel Studios. So massive props to Shane and Spinks. and Andy. They always make it an absolute dream up here. And yeah, if you've got an interest in the paranormal, check us out. Aliens and Stuff Show on Facebook.
Yeah, very, very good. And also the group as well. Make sure you join the group on there.
Join the group. Check out the YouTube.
I tend to post in there quite often myself because I love that stuff. So yeah. Spencer Woods, it's been an absolute pleasure as always, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for coming to see me, and I hope to see you again here very soon.
Super duper.
Thanking you.